Good morning, everybody. It's time for your first quiz. I want you to put all of your pens and pencils away. This is no paper. This is just going to be a talking quiz. Simultaneous to the quiz, I'm going to throw this balloon in the air. If it touches the ground, you all fail. Here we go. Turn to a neighbor. Talk about those things. Keep the balloon in the air. Go. Why was the first thing I had you do in this class talk to each other? I haven't even introduced myself yet. What do you think?
To introduce ourselves to our people around us in the class.
Why would you want to do that? Are you an engineering major?
Yeah.
You're going to have to be working with them throughout the semester, so you want to get to know them.
Wait. Working with other people? I thought this was physical. Right? How is this supposed to go? How is physics class supposed to go? You're supposed to come in and you sit down, right? And then I come in and I have a conversation with the board. Right? While you're just watching. And sometime maybe in the 4th or 5th week of the semester, somebody might get brave enough to ask a question. And they'll like put their hand in the air. And of course I can't see it because I'm talking to the board. And they'll just, Mr. Balogh, right? And I'll turn around in shock that there's actually still people here. I haven't managed to scare everybody away. How many of you have had classes like that? Some of you are like, yeah, others of you are like, no, it's pandemic, Mr. Balogh, I just got all online, right? Why would I want you talking to each other and getting to know each other? It's true, you're going to be working together, right? You need to know people. But what's the key when you're communicating with somebody else? What's the object? I haven't even introduced myself yet. We're 5 minutes into class. I'm really an English teacher, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying to kill time. Why do I want you talking to each other? How do you know when you know something?
Why you double check something?
There's another word for double checking. Peer review, testing. It's what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
When you're able to teach it to someone else?
What do you know about what you know when you can teach it to somebody else?
Yeah, you know
that you know it, right? Or that you're totally wrong and you're spending, passing on misinformation like TikTok. So, I want you teaching each other. In lecture, right? Yes. There will be times in lecture where I tell you, hey, turn to your neighbor and do this thing, right? Turn to them, explain this. Turn to them, Newton's law, this, that. And I want you to teach each other. Because if you turn and you open your mouth and Nobel Prize winning physics comes out, what do you know? That you're possessed? That you know something, right? But you'll probably also find out that there are things that you don't know and you can't explain to somebody else, right? And so if you turn, you open your mouth and you go, oh, help me, then the other person knows that you need help, right? And you know that you need help. And sometimes it's even better to know when you don't know something, because that's the start of a process where you're going to go and learn it. So, when I tell you that this class is going to be interactive, and this class you're going to be talking to each other in lecture, do you believe me? Why?
Because the first thing you do.
Because you'll nod and say anything to get an A. Because it was the first thing you did in my class. How many of you have gone to a class, the teacher tells you for like 50 minutes how interactive their class is, and they never once interact with you? Your first memory in here is talking to each other, because that's more important than talking to me. I'm Mr. Balogh. I teach physics here at Fresno City College, and I am thrilled to have you here. All right. I want to know these things about you, because the more I know about you, the better I'm able to help you. Okay, so where were you born? Just shout them out. Fresno, good. Vietnam, excellent. It's not a contest, so don't I'm from San Francisco, so I can't say anything now. Shout it out. Greeley, Hanford, Clovis, Selma, India, Mexico, Philippines. Tagalog or Cebu? Tagalog? Ayos. I lived for 2 years in the Philippines. All right. Anybody from Africa? Big continent? Yes? What part? Nigeria, fantastic. Let's see, who did we miss? Europe, Asia. We got like Southeast Asia, China, Russia, Europe. Fresno City College is a fantastic place. I love it. It is so awesome that we have all of these voices here. What's your favorite thing to do?
Travel.
Archery? I did Olympic recurve archery for about 5 years. Yeah. Still have my bow, can't pull it anymore. What else? Traveling. Oh, fun. Expensive. Fishing? To catch the fish or just to be out there? Yeah. Usually most fishermen I talk to is like fish are secondary, right? It's an excuse to get out. What else? Hiking? Very sporty class. Come on, video games? Yeah? Right? Okay, movies? TV? What's free time, Mr. Bale? I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. What's your favorite place to eat in Fresno that's not your mom or your grandma's house, because I'm not allowed to go there? Jeb's?
Yeah.
I don't know that place. Where is that place?
Right across from Manchester.
Okay. What kind of food is it?
Breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast and lunch. Good meals. Where's my list? Right here. JEB, right?
Yes.
Where else?
70 Ranch.
Okay, yeah, been there. Okay. What? Sonia's?
Zinnias?
How do you spell that?
I don't know how to spell it. But it's right next to the Kaiser.
It's the can I just scan it? Zenia. It's a Japanese steakhouse.
Oh, okay. Across from Kaiser.
Yeah, they only take cash, so.
Right, okay. Where else? Oh, now you're talking about the English, right? I like Pho Paradise. Pho 99 is good. Oh shoot, what's the name of the Shaw and right off the freeway? They do pho, they do banh mi, they do everything. Long? Yeah, that one. Oh, so good. So good. I gotta go back. There's only one, if I remember, there's only one phone 99 in town? I think so. Okay. Where else? Why am I writing these down? These are date ideas, right? You're gonna make me look really good. Right? Now, I started doing this my first year of teaching, right? I asked my students where do you like to eat in town? Again, as a way to generate ideas for where to take my wife. And I come home and, right, hey, I got all these great ideas. So now, right, I get home after the first day of work. There's no, how'd you do, right? How'd it go? How were the students? First thing out of her mouth, what's the list, right? What's the list of places? We love to eat, we love going out places and trying new places and all that kind of stuff. So if you have any more ideas, email me, make me look good. It's good. Why are you here? It's a requirement, right? You mean you didn't wake up this morning and go, yes, physics, can't wait. No, I'm guessing for 99% of you that somebody told you had to take physics class in order to do what you want to do, right? And so I know it's a requirement. I know people don't just voluntarily flock to my classroom, right? Okay? And so with that acknowledgement, right, part of my job, I think, is to make this time that we are here together worthwhile, meaningful, and useful to you, right? Now, can I make it fun? Well, yeah. Right? Physics can be fun, but it is very hard. Everything you've heard is probably true, right? Including how bad it is. What's not true, okay, is the idea in your mind that you can't do it, because I know you can. I've seen thousands of you do it. I have data on my side, right? So it's going to be tough and rough and all that kind of stuff, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. You do hard work. I've got your back. We'll make it. What are your future educational plans? How many of you are going for the bachelor's and then want to just start working? Okay, and then how many of you like graduate school? Kinds of things. Okay, good, right? And then what are your future professional plans? Shout them out like your majors or fields.
Civil engineering.
Civil? Oh, let's get all the engineering out of the way. Civil, raise your hand. Okay, primarily engineers in here. Okay, mechanical, electrical, chemical, computer. What did I miss? Geomatics, thank you. Geomatics, raise your hands. We got the one, yes. Okay. No, we were in geomatics. It's awesome, and they have a fantastic program in Fresno State. Trying to get some converts into there. All you civil engineers think you want to be civil engineers. You really want to be geomatics engineers. Let's see. We got all the engineers, right? Okay, so yeah, the missing one? Aerospace? Architectural engineering, thank you. Yeah, we get one of those every once in a while. Okay. English majors. Good. I had somebody raise their hand once. Okay. He stayed. He changed his major in physics. Went to Santa Barbara. Let's see. Biology. Biology and related majors. So biomechanics, all that kind of stuff. Yes, we get more and more biologists in here, which is fantastic. More and more programs are requiring the calc-based physics for biology. Chemistry. Okay, mathematicians. I'm sorry. No, I love mathematicians. It's math I don't like. There's a difference. All right, let's see. What majors did I miss?
Physics.
I didn't want to embarrass you. But there are a few of you out there, and we'll talk. Right? You picked the best major ever, right? Okay. Okay. And what are things in your classes that you've seen that you really, really like? Like something that just made it so you wanted to engage, or that really helped you? This is where I steal ideas from other teachers, so you need to help me.
I'll say fair exams.
Fair exams.
Yeah.
Wrong class. This is physics. No, I don't try to trick you on the exams. I'm trying to find out what you know and if you can apply it, right? So for those of you that like memorization, this is not a class for you. There's really no memorization on the test. It's all application. Can you do it?
Group projects are fun. We get to work with people.
Group projects and working with people. So for every one of you, there's another person going, please don't make me talk to anybody else, right? So yes, it's true. And we do, it's called lab. Every week, right? You're working in a lab group, and we'll talk more about that on Thursday. What else has like helped you, or anything you've seen in other classes?
Study
Study
guides.
guides?
Study guide.
Okay, yeah, we have a study guide in here. It's called the homework. I'm not joking. So by show of hands, I don't want to embarrass anybody, so don't raise your hand if you don't feel like it. How many of you are coming directly from, say, only learning online to this semester being your first face-to-face? Some of you? Okay, welcome back. Excellent to have you here, all right? For the rest of you, right? So last semester, half the class raised their hands, and the semester before that, everybody raised their hands, right? So you know, learning online and learning face-to-face is a very different experience, right? So we have to acknowledge that. Okay, I found out some things about you, and I'm going to find out more things about you, okay, as the class goes on. But you get to ask me questions now, right? So you have the next 4 minutes or so to ask me any question you want, and I will do my best to answer. This, of course, is one way that I sort of think of myself, right? But I figured I'd add this, because this just lowers stress hormones in everybody, right? Okay. Although I think most of my students picture me like this, right? You've been in those classes, right? Look left, look right. Those two people are going to be gone by the third week, right? But this, of course, is who I am. No, I only see recognition in only like 5% of your eyes. If you haven't watched Doctor Who, you are doing life wrong. Okay? This is Doctor Who, okay, David Tennant, Matt Smith, and Doctor Who is quite possibly one of the best, no, not one of, it is the best science fiction TV show ever. It displaced Star Trek as my favorite TV show. Started the 2005 version. Do that after this semester's over, because you will just do nothing but watch this show, all right? Okay, what are your questions for me?
Who's your favorite doctor?
Who's my favorite doctor?
Yeah.
David Tennant. Hands down, no contest. Matt Smith is great. So I love the Matt Smith, Amy Rory story arc, but as the doctor, David Tennant is my favorite. He's back. Anyway.
What place do you recommend us to eat at? Since we all gave you recommendations.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me a part of the world or a genre of food, because I have too many recommendations. So like, for Indian food, I suggest Brahma Bull on Shaw and West, over there by the Target, okay? Fantastic, right? For pizza, our favorite pizza place, disclaimer, my wife and I feel like there isn't good pizza in Fresno. We're snobs that way, okay? We make our own pizza because we don't like really any pizza. But when we order pizza out, it's 99 craft pizza, and get the Detroit style pizza. It's almost like a focaccia bread with pizza toppings on top of it. It's really good. So that's pizza, that's Indian food. Any other genres out there you want to know about? Tacos. I don't really like Fresno Mexican food. I know, sorry. I grew up near Watsonville, California, over near Santa Cruz. And my high school was about 90% Latino. And man, did we have good Mexican food there. Like, knock your socks off, burn the tongue out of your mouth, flavorful, spicy. I then moved to Utah where there's no Mexican food. They had a foreign food aisle at the supermarket, and it wasn't an aisle, it was about this wide. And believe it or not, I found extra mild salsa. I looked at it, I went, what is it? And I bought some, like on a college budget. I was like, I have to try this, right? So it was our meal for the week. It was less spicy than ketchup. And Utahns like inject ketchup directly into their veins. Like they love the stuff, but they didn't like extra mayonnaise. Anyway, moved to Fresno, was so pumped, right? Coming back from Utah to Fresno. Oh yeah, finally gonna do Mexican food. Guy, and it was bland. Like bland food. I was like, what's going on here? And I complained about it for 3 years. And on third year, just first day, just like this, right? I'm complaining about the Mexican food Fresno. And one of my students put his hand in the air and said, Mr. Bale, I think I know your problem. I was like, what? And he's like, is it me? Right? And he's like, no. You need to know that in terms of like family history, when people came from Mexico and settled this area, they came from a majority came from like middle to southern Mexico. And middle to southern Mexico tends to have more bland food. You grew up in an area of California that was settled by pizza from like people from Sonora, like the chili belt, the northern parts of Fresno. And so they brought all of those chilies and things, you know, that tradition with them. And so that food tends to be more flavorful and spicy than the, you know, the middle to southern parts of Mexico. And it was an epiphany. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, this explains everything. So, that's the long answer to a very short question. I like the taco shop across from the Save Mart Center, just south. What's it called?
Maria's Tacos? On Clovis?
No.
Don
Don Pepe's. Taqueria. Yeah, their fish taco is amazing, and their other stuff's really good. So, I want to talk over there.
There's also a really good taco truck.
Yes, there are some good taco trucks in town, and they move around annoyingly. So.
This one stays quick, like Tuesday through Saturday, like 5 to midnight.
Where? What?
It's by a liquor store on Gettysburg and Chestnut.
Okay, I'm hunting them down.
Their burritos or whatever, but their tacos are really good.
Good. Okay.
Each
Excellent.
Don Pepe tastes different.
Which one?
Each location.
Each taste. I've only been to the one across from St. Mark's Center.
There's one on Blackstone and Gettysburg.
Okay. Is it better?
That's my
Okay.
favorite.
All right. Them's fighting words.
That's the OG spot.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Gettysburg and what?
Blackstone.
Tacos Tijuana? Or is it the wrong one?
No, the Don Pepe.
Oh, I don't know.
I have another taco truck for you.
Okay. Okay. Keep going. Forget physics. This is more important.
Chewy's Tacos.
Chili's tacos.
Chewy's.
Chewy's.
It's off of Clinton and Fruit, right next to the, I think it's like a Family Dollar.
Okay. Yeah.
But they're only there Thursdays Thursdays through Saturdays, from like 5 to like 10.
Okay.
Thursdays and Fridays, because they're booked on Saturdays all the time.
This is great. And you know, I threw down that gauntlet. So if you're out there going, hey, Mr. Balo, I've got some tacos for you, let me know. Okay. Okay. And I'll give it a shot. Okay. Anything else you want to know about me?
Why a bow tie instead of regular tie?
Because regular ties suck. They get in your suit. Yeah, those ties are cool. Right? They get in your suit. These are, for me, faster and easier to tie. You're tying your shoelace when you tie a bow tie. I don't know why people are so afraid to tie a bow tie. A necktie, it's like double Windsor, and I end up wearing a turban. Right? Like, I don't know. I just don't. I've never liked neckties. I've always preferred bow ties. Keeps the front of my shirt, you know, thing. And I really only wear bow ties on the first day of school and to church. Every time out. By the second week, you're going to see me in sweats and a t-shirt and laps. It degrades from here. Good first impression after that's all that.
Why do you like physics?
Because they're screaming. Mine and yours. I went to school. My major going into college, believe it or not, was sociology. Okay? I am very nervous around people. I've had 23 years of teaching to get used to you, right? But it's still, I'm scared by people. And so it's kind of weird. I'm very shy. I know you won't believe that, but I'm very shy and prefer not to talk to people. Very introverted. But people fascinate me. Like the dumb things humans do, right? Fascinating. And so I thought I want to be a sociologist. So I went to sociology classes and I said, this has got to be the dumbest stuff I have ever heard. Like, they're making stuff up. There's no data here. There's like, they're doing this weird sort of lying with numbers called statistics. I just didn't like it. And so I wandered around campus looking for what I was going to do with the rest of my life. I knew I wanted to be a teacher. I knew that. I knew I wanted to teach community college. I've known that since I was 14. And so I wandered in the direction that I sounded like they were having the most fun. There was explosions, there was screaming, there was electrical arcs going off. I was like, what's going on over there? And it was the physics department, right? And I discovered my first love is teaching, my second love was physics, right? I am so fortunate. I get to wake up every day, do my favorite thing in the world, which is to teach, and poke the universe with a stick just to see what happens. It is incredible. Physics is amazing. I love it. But I do consider myself a teacher now and a physicist second, because it's been a very long time since I've done actual physics research for a period of time, right? So I do consider myself an expert in teaching physics and knowing physics, but in terms of actually doing physics, I'd probably need a good 6 months of refreshing to be able to really get into the research. All right, let's see here. We have to do some very unfortunate things. Now, what I'm about to do is take roll, okay? And this is the, this is for you. This is not for me, right? Because I'm going to take roll. The official first day roll will happen on Thursday. That's the day where I do all of the adding and dropping and waitlisting and all of that stuff, right? So this is for you. For those of you that just need to make sure that you're enrolled in this class, like, the website says you are, and I can verify by reading your name right now. It's just to make you feel comfortable, okay? But if you come up to me and say, Mr. Balogh, I'm on the wait list, can I add? The answer is come on Thursday, okay? Because Thursday is the day where I will handle all of the add drop. After that, I won't. Now, this class is totally full, okay? And there are 4 seats available in the Physics 4A section taught by Mr. Trelawney. Okay, who's also a fantastic teacher. So we are almost full, except for 4 seats. If you are on a wait list, I encourage you right now, whip your phone out, get into Mr. Trelawney's class. Because I have a hard cap of 27 seats per section. There's 2 sections in here. Mr. Trelawney has the same hard cap, right? So go get in his class right away, right? Otherwise, I might be able to take the first person on the wait list, but everybody else is probably not going to get it. I'm just telling you what I know is going to happen.
You can't wait list for 2 sections. At the same
Correct.
time.
I don't think you can. Just dumb. It's like the only place in the world that they don't let you do that. I would just sign up because you can go to Mr. Oh, I guess you can't add right now because the classes are locked. Go find Mr. Trelawney, right? His class and get at it. All right. So let me pause this and pull up my roll. Where was I? Oh yeah, we did that. Right? So, in the Balogh household, we do have medical conditions that make it safer for us to wear masks, right? But one of the things that I noticed as soon as I put my mask on, all of you start looking somewhere else, right? Okay, and it becomes hard to engage because you can't see my face. Plus, I have a very dry sense of humor, and oftentimes I'll say something that sounds awfully awful, but I'll have a smile on my face to communicate that it's not awful, right? And you can't see it under the mask. So, when I wear my mask, I tend to wear this. At the University of Oklahoma, they discovered in the trauma center when COVID first struck that if the nurses wore smiling pictures, black and white smiling pictures of their faces on, because they look like Darth Vader in their, CDC get-ups and all that kind of stuff, right? That the stress hormones in the patients dropped just by having this on their chest, right? Wear mask and everything else. So, in lab, during exams, this is pretty much what I look like, minus the bow tie. Okay, right? So that I noticed students will ask me more questions if I'm wearing this with my mask on, okay? During lecture, I do take my mask off, right? Because it's just, I do so much of my teaching and communication with my face and screaming and smiling, and there's lots of screaming in here, there's lots of yelling, I'm yelling a lot, but I'm often yelling at the physics and the math, not you, okay, right? So to communicate that we're still okay, I'll smile a lot and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I'll take my mask off. However, if you come up to me right, during class, I'll put my mask back on. It's not you, I'm trying to protect me, my wife, and my kids, right? So just know that I will wear a mask a lot. I encourage mask wearing wherever I go. We have RSV and flu now. That seems to be the major thing instead of COVID. That's knocking people out and filling up our hospitals. And I want to do my part to make sure doctors and nurses don't go absolutely stir crazy because they are way too stressed. But we're still in this thing, right? And I encourage you. You notice you're in here like sardines. So please, if you're so inclined, wear your mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, that's fine too. Nobody gets shamed in here for doing either, right? Respect is what I expect you to have for each other, me to you, all that kind of stuff. And if you're not feeling it, either from me or from your fellow students, please let me know. Because I want us to be a safe place. Physics is bad enough, right? We don't need all the extra garbage coming on down. If you get sick, okay, then get tested. There's a form it's an online form you fill out, and they will certify you to come back to class, right? That's the documentation I need in order for you to get accommodations because you have COVID, right? If you have a cold, you're symptomatic, and it's not COVID, wear a mask, right? Don't get the rest of us sick, okay? And if you don't have a mask, access to masks, I've got masks. I've got boxes of them in the back, right? So we'll try and protect each other because in the winter time, somebody gets a cold and then everybody has a cold, and before you know it, we're all right? And again, physics is bad enough. So we'll try to have each other's backs here. Okay. For the next few minutes here, I am going to blitz through some of the information that you're probably going to want to know so that you can go to sleep tonight. Right? It's either going to scare you into dropping or it will answer some of your questions. A lot of your questions are going to get answered on Thursday. Thursday's a big day because the ad drops. We go over a lot more in detail about what the class is expecting and grading and all that kind of stuff. These are just the highlights. Again, all of this is on Canvas. You can go to Canvas, read the syllabus. Yeah, right. Right, and just all the information is there. So let me give you some highlights, okay, of just things that I know are maybe be on your mind. And we'll move through these things, okay? The textbook. How many of you just need an e-book? You don't need a physical book. That's most people nowadays, right? Okay. So you access the textbook through Canvas. Okay. You go to Canvas. You click on any one of those links that takes you to the textbook, and the first thing they'll do is they'll ask you for money. Okay. Right. Don't go to wileyplus.com. You will not find my class, and it won't give you access. Got to go to Canvas, click on a book link, and then you can start signing up for it. There's a 14-day grace period where you don't have to pay and you get full access. So you can test it out, you can try it out. This is not for you. You want to change class, whatever, okay, you got 14 days to do it. So I encourage everybody to go do that right away. Just start the grace period and get into it, right, because you have homework due, I think, this Saturday. So get in there. The bookstore. Some of you have to buy your books through the bookstore for whatever reason. The bookstore does charge a markup on this. I think the price is cheapest directly through Wiley Plus. This is how you do your homework. Okay, the online homework system is through that. So yes, you have to pay to do your homework. It's like a double thing, right? Okay. And I think I didn't check this semester. Last semester it was $190, and that access was good for a year. There was a 1 semester access, so like my math majors and stuff that only have to take 4A, don't pay the big number, pay the smaller number because you only need 1 semester or a 6-month access, okay? So there's those 2 different accesses. So if you have to take 4B, right, by the year, access. All right, questions about the textbook? There's gonna be a lot more stuff about online homework and things on Thursday. Okay. Canvas, like I do everything. I mean, I did this before the pandemic and before we had to teach online. Okay, so homework's on Canvas, access to Canvas. Your book's access through Canvas. On Thursday, I'll show you tips and tricks about how I put my course together because I know it can be kind of confusing. I did put like big buttons right on the home page for you to access things like how to find my office hours, what to do if you have COVID. I think it says in case of pandemic, click here. It's all the instructions about how to report and get the verification that you've got it and blah, blah, blah. All kind of access to the tutors, like free tutoring. There's a bunch of stuff on there, right? So it really is our hub for everything that happens. I post my announcements there. I encourage you to turn announcements on for my class and notifications for announcements. I hereby promise that I will not send you the stupid physics quote of the day. Okay? There may be days where you get 3 or 4 announcements from me because I've screwed up that many times. But then there'll be like a whole week where you won't hear from me at all. Right? So I use announcements for like critical pieces of information, reminders of things, that sort of stuff. So make sure that you've got that. And you're checking it. You gotta go this every day. There's just no other way to do it. We have this thing called GRASP. It's free tutoring. It takes place on Fridays here. And honestly, I know you said, oh, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday is great. I can work on Friday. If you can come Friday from 8 to 9:15, like just treat this class as a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class and come to GRASP on that Friday, you're going to succeed. Because all the physics tutors come here, all the physics faculty are having our office hours there, and you get help. You can check out laptops and all kinds of stuff, right? And you can get personalized help on your homework and anything else that's going down. I can't recommend this strongly enough, that you just build that into your schedule, okay? You don't have to come from 8 to 9:15. I'm there at 7, and I leave at 12. The other physics teachers there have it open to 1 or 2 o'clock. The tutors are all there. Okay, they're our students that have gone through these classes. Several of them are my students, so you can ask them, "Is Mr. Balogh really that crazy?" And they'll go, "Yeah." Right, and they'll tell you about the exams and all that sort of stuff. So they're very familiar with how this class runs, and I cannot recommend it enough. This Friday's GRASP is happening, and it's the perfect day if you're having technical problems. Like logging into Canvas, getting onto Wiley Plus, need help with your computer, phone, tablet, whatever. That's the day. You got stuff due this weekend, so it's like we've got to get it fixed by Friday. Okay, even then it's too late. I would really start working on your homework tonight. Okay, so please consider, if you can, make room in your schedule to come to God. Now the tutors are available at other times during the week, and for the first time ever, I believe they're going to have tutors on Sundays. Okay, so. Take advantage of that free tutoring. Again, those are the same tutors we have here on Fridays. We take them out of the tutorial center, we bring them over here to protect them from all the math students. Right? We only do physics on that, because a physics tutor that isn't doing physics turns into a math tutor. Do you have to come to this class? No?
Yes, if you want to pass.
Yeah, yes, if you want to pass. No, in strict terms of things, right? Okay. So you'll see me stop taking attendance after like 3rd week, because after the 3rd week, by law, I have to take attendance because we get paid for warm bodies and seats. And then after that, the law says it doesn't matter. And I'm like, okay, fine. I wouldn't take attendance there. This is college. You're paying to be here. This is your time, right? Okay. And I hope that you come here feeling like it's time well spent, that you're getting help. And you're being pumped up so that you can go and be successful in the 90% of the class that happens outside of class, which is the homework, right? So, yes, you have to be. I've never seen anybody not be here and pass. What I've seen is people not come or come every other day, and then they get to the first exam and then they go. Okay? So, yes, you've got to be here. You've got to be a part of it in order to succeed in physics. But I don't require your attendance. I do want to know kind of what's happening where you are. So I get concerned if I see you, if you disappear, right? And so I'll start sending out emails about like what's going on, that kind of stuff, right? So if something happens, you can just shoot me a quick, hey, Mr. Bale, I can't come today, and I'm all right. You don't even have to tell me what's going on, right? Okay. You can if you want. I'm happy to listen. But like, I start getting concerned, right? When you just disappear. And some do, right? But I do try to find out what's going on. This is scary. Okay? Not only is it a wall of text, which is something you should never do on a PowerPoint, okay? But the implication here is that this class requires daily commitment. This is not a class where you can wait till Thursday to start your homework that's due on Saturday. This class is like running a marathon. You have to train, okay? And there's really only one rest day, okay? Your brain needs a daily exposure to this material. So if you have a day where you're going to bang out 4 hours of homework, that's great, okay? The next day, make sure you do at least 15 minutes to half hour of physics exposure. Your brain needs it. This is a template for you to follow, okay? My recommendation, students that have followed this have reported to me that they can do it, they can pass all that kind of stuff. But 12 hours per week is a minimum number that I've heard. So average is around 14 to 15 hours outside of this class. Like, we already spend 6 hours of the week together, don't we? Okay, between lab and lecture. And then you tack this. That's already a part-time job, right? And I can't stress to you enough. I know I'm old and you don't believe me anymore. When I was teaching at 24, all my students believed everything I said. But I'm here telling you right now that this class is the hardest one you've ever taken. How many of you taken organic chemistry? Okay, that's harder. This one is that hard, just a little bit less. And organic chemistry is hard because I can't memorize anything, okay? Because organic chemistry is all memorization. So, not all, but most. But what I'm trying to communicate to you is that you need to figure out a daily exposure to what's going on, and you need to bank the time more than you think. I'd much rather you take a lot of time at first and then find out maybe you need less time as you go than the other way around. And you need to communicate with me if you are having trouble committing time to this, keeping up, all that kind of stuff. A bad score in the first exam is recoverable. We'll talk more about this on Thursday. But a second bad score on, say, the second exam, you're done. So we need to correct things sooner rather than later, right? So please understand, physics is hard, not only because physics is hard. There's lots of things going on here. The other classes you've had up to this point, say math, is really focused on just mathematics. Okay? Your English classes tend to be focused just on the written language, right? Your history classes are based on the stories of the past. In physics, we ask you to do English, reading comprehension, right? We ask you to write stuff down. We ask you to do math and history and critical thinking, and then we throw physics on top of all of that. It's like, for some of you, it's going to be the first time where you're asked to pull all of those skills together into one place. And it really can throw some people off. So I'm trying to warn you right now. I'm not trying to scare you away. I'm telling you the truth. Just be ready. You're going to be sitting there going, there's no way I can do this, and you're wrong. Like I said, I've got thousands of people through the past that have succeeded. So please communicate with me. Please set the time aside. I know you've heard this spiel from other teachers. They lied. Okay? I'm telling the truth. Right? It just takes time. I've had some students take 40 hours a week for this class. Okay? So it just depends on the person and what's going on. We do have exams in here. The word comprehensive, I know, is scary, but this is the way physics works. This is another reason physics is hard. In history, you can teach history out of order. There's nothing that says you can't study World War II before you study, say, the American Civil War. I know that there's probably a preferred way to do it in history classes, but there isn't necessarily. In physics, all STEM classes, chemistry, biology, it's a ladder. You gotta climb every rung. Chapters 1, 2, and 3, okay? Where do you think we use chapters 1, 2, and 3?
Chapters 4, 5.
Everywhere else in the course, right? You can't skip chapter 5 and expect to be able to do chapter 6. The marathon, you have to run every single foot of that marathon. You can't skip things, okay? And so that's what I mean by comprehensive. Exam 3 will have material from exams 1 and 2 on it, not because I sit there and go, let's see if they remember this, but because the Unit 3 material builds on Units 1 and 2, right? So, yes, it's comprehensive, but that's how the universe works, okay? Momentum can't be separate from energy, separate from Newton's laws. It's all tied together. Now, on the exams, I do try to focus on that unit's material. Right? I don't go back to Unit 1 and do a problem from there. But Unit 1's information, you're going to always have to be doing unit conversions and kinematics and things like that. So that's why I say the word comprehensive. There is no like comprehensive final exam where you do problems from the entire semester. Because in Unit 4, you're doing problems from the entire semester anyway. You do get a study sheet, a cheat sheet, reference sheet. This is, you make this, okay? Anybody know those dimensions in freedom units? That's 8.5 by 11. Question?
I would say 8.5 by 11.
Yeah, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, right? Front and back, you put what you want on it. It's your safety blanket, not mine. Okay? So if you think you need an equation, put it on there. Okay? You can put whatever you want. As long as it's not a copy of the test you're about to take. And then we'll talk more about my zero tolerance policies for using and cheating and all that kind of stuff later on Thursday. Oh, I'm so glad I put this in here. I almost forgot. Kerbal Space Program is free right now on the Epic Games Store. Okay? If you don't know what Kerbal Space Program is, once again, repent. You've been living your life wrong. Okay? You got cute little Kerbals. They're just cute little guys. Right? And you are basically like doing the space program from the 1950s to the modern age with these little Kerbals on Kerbin. Kerbin's their planet. And you build rockets, kind of like a CAD engineering thing, and you plug the rockets together like Legos, and then you launch them. And what happens is you learn through failure. And you blow it up, and eventually you get into orbit, and it feels like this great accomplishment. It's a great game. It's entertaining and fun. It's a great learning tool. It's free right now. It's free till this Wednesday. Thursday at 10 a.m. or 8 a.m. is where they switch it over. But anyway, just go out, Epic Games Store, grab Kerbal Space Program for free. Kerbal Space Program 2 is coming up February 24th again. So good. All right. Oh, Monster Hunter, my most played game on Steam. Right? Okay. I'm done with Rise. I played it out, right? I'm waiting for the next Monster Hunter to come out. Path of Exile is what I'm playing right now, just to fill in the blanks. But yeah. All right. So let's see. What's the scary number on this screen? No! 70%? Are you kidding me, Mr. Balogh? No. But it's not the most important number. What's the most important number?
15.
The 15% on homework. The exams are designed so that they are like a medium level difficulty homework problem. Some homework problems are kind of easy, some programs are kind of hard. You're going to be sitting there going, Mr. Bailey, these are all hard, right? But there's really kind of a difference there. I go for the medium, right? That's my goal, okay, is average of medium difficulty on the exam. If you don't let Chegg do your homework, if you do the due diligence of learning by doing the homework problems and fighting for every answer and learning from your mistakes, you're going to pass the exam. It's not going to be a problem. That homework is the most important 15% in this course. And I'm not talking about getting 100% on it. I'm talking about understanding what you are doing. Over and over again, my students come back to me and say, Mr. Balogh, yeah. Some of them get upset. They're like, Mr. Balogh, the homework was harder. I'm like, yes. Prepared you well.
You're talking about, you want us to do our homework on a website,
Yeah.
but I usually like to use books.
Mhm.
If I buy the book, do I have to also pay for the website if I want to see like the videos you were talking about?
Yeah, come up and talk to me afterwards. There's lots of options for like a physical textbook. You can. The answer is yes. I want to turn your homework in through the online system, but you can get a physical textbook directly from them for cheaper than the bookstore, right? So you can have that text. You're going to be doing your homework on paper anyway, and then typing numbers into the boxes. okay, to submit the answers. The only difference there is that if you require an accommodation from DSPS, we will make accommodations like there's nobody's business. But yes, I want you to you submit your homework online through the online homework system, but a lot of it you're doing on paper.
And do you grade our homework based on how many questions we get right?
I do not grade your homework. Your homework is for you. It is not for me. Okay? The website grades it. You'll learn. The green box of joy and the red box of doom. How many of you have done online homework? Yeah, okay? You know, right? Okay? But really, this isn't about getting a good grade. It's about understanding these problems. If you understand these problems, you know how to do them, and you can replicate, not just the problem, but like replicate the topic, okay? Then you'll be good for the exams. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to embarrass him. Jacob, come here. Good morning. Yes, please. They made the mistake of standing out there. All right. Everybody, this is Jacob Beeman. Jacob is one of our tutors, okay? And one of my former students. He thought he doesn't need to be tortured by me anymore, but I'm going to torture him anyway. Okay? It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Jacob, will you please tell them what I've been telling them for the last half hour? Physics, is it hard?
Yes, it is hard, but it's not impossible. Put your mind to it. Recommend reading the book and taking notes before you come to lecture. It's what helped me get through physics, and trust Mr. Balogh here.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I lie a lot, but it's good lies. What are your questions for him? You can ask him any question you want. I will not interrupt him. He can say whatever he wants.
You ready for LChem 2?
Second semester organic chemistry. Yes.
See you tomorrow.
This is your chance. Former student, tutor. You'll be in grasp on Fridays?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Which of the four tests do you think was the hardest?
For 4A.
4A. Probably second test. Newton's laws of motion and forces.
Second and third,
Yeah.
kind of the same. They're really the hard ones.
Yeah. Double on your trick. Know your trick stuff. That's gonna be very important. Any other questions? It's okay, I don't bite.
How does homework look for you, like on a daily basis?
I would recommend, homework is definitely your bread and butter in this class, absolutely. Homework is always gonna be harder than the test. So if you can understand the homework and you can get through the homework, you should be good on the test. It's not an excuse to not study for the test, but the homework definitely prepares you there. I'd recommend trying to get as much of the homework done before Friday as you can, and then any questions you have, come to grasp. Grasp is a lifesaver. Any other questions?
This was unplanned. I just saw him standing out there and I knew I could pick on him, so.
Yes, sir.
To what level of physics have you taken?
I've taken all of the 4 series, so 4A, 4B, and 4C.
So then of those classes, like how does this one compare as like in terms of difficulty?
4A is probably, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 being is the most difficult, 4A is probably a 7, I'd say. It's the second hardest, going from hardest to least hard. 4B, 4A, and 4C. So, yeah.
And what's 4B on the scale of 1 to 10?
4B is probably a 9 or 10.
No, it's a 17.
Yeah.
4B is...
If we were to keep it on the scale, it's a 9 or 10. If we're not, if we're ignoring the scale, yeah, 17.
It's
really
bad.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What's easier, lecture or lab for
That's hard for me to say because when I took 4A, we were still all online, so I didn't have in-person lab. We had the online lab stuff, but depending on how you as a student study, either lecture will be easier or lab will be easier. If you come prepared to lecture is gonna make a lot more sense, I think, than something like trying to follow along in the lab, whereas lab's like that applied stuff. So,
I've heard over and over again, lab is more fun, it's more interesting. Homework is more useful,
yes.
like in terms of learning how to apply that kind of stuff.
Yes, I'd agree with that. Any additional questions?
Thank you, Jacob.
Very
Thanks to
welcome.
put you on the spot. Do you have organic chem right after this?
Hmm?
Do you have right? Do you have class right now?
I will during your 4C.
Okay.
But I can hop in.
No, you go to class. I'll pick on somebody else. Thank you, Jacob. See you Friday. You come in this Friday?
Yes,
Are you
I'll be
guys
there.
working Friday?
Yep.
Good. All right. Excellent.
Good luck, everybody.
All right. So, do have a late policy. There's no late homework. I just dropped your 2 lowest scores. Right? Homework is due every week, so that's basically 2 weeks of not having turned in homework. But again, the warning, right? You can't just skip chapter 10 and expect chapter 11 to work, right? So even if you are dropping a score, it's going to be a low score. You've got to look at the material. You've got to be involved. Okay. You can't fall off the horse. There's an easier way to say the middle part there. What does the middle part basically tell you to do or not to do? Don't miss an exam. Right? And on Thursday, I'll show you all the dates that the exams are going to happen. And so if you're getting married or your sports team is going out or something, you got surgery scheduled, whatever, and you know it's that date, you got to tell me ahead of time, right? So that we can work out so you don't get these penalties, right? So, but the message is there are 4 dates this semester you do not want to miss. And I like to think I'm reasonable in the sense that if you communicate to me before, we can make accommodations and figure stuff out. All right. Nobody uses phones anymore, right? I read this break that I'm not even supposed to send you thumbs up emojis because you guys get offended or something. Have you heard this? Yeah, or like the smiley face that's just the smiley face, the colon parentheses, right, is passive aggressive to Gen Zers? Have you heard this? No? Yeah, some of you are going, ooh, yeah, okay. So I'm trying my best to understand you. But nobody uses phones anymore, right? Okay. I could get paid a whole lot more if I went and worked for corporations teaching their employees how to talk on the phone. That's what employers are finding now, is that people don't know how to talk on phones. So, no, I don't use my phone either. My voicemail is a fantastic place for if your mom is upset because you won't tell her what you did on the exam because I told you not to talk about the exam yet, right? And she wants to complain, give her my phone number and she'll call it, talk to the voicemail. It'd be great. Okay. Technology in here. Totally yes, please. Bring your tech. If it's what you use, if your book's on your tablet, if you're taking notes on your tablet, phone, whatever, computer, please bring it, do it. But if you are on the interwebs checking the tiki-talkies and all that kind of stuff, right, and you're not here, you're here but you're not here, that's a distracting use of technology. And so if the person behind you is distracted by what you're doing, playing a game, watching YouTube, whatever, right, okay, I authorize that person behind you to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, would you please stop doing what you're doing on your computer because it's distracting me from learning. Now, if they're doing physics on their computer, it's still distracting to you, you need to move, right? But my point is, inside this room, the tech, we should be using it to our greatest advantage, right? For learning and all that kind of stuff, but we don't want to distract ourselves. Turn your notifications off. Put your phones in the silent mode. Put them in focus modes turned on so you don't get the little red dots that are trying to grab your attention or going after your monkey brain, okay? We'll talk more about that later. We want to be on top. Yeah, there's a whole world outside those doors where you can do the interwebs, right? Okay? In here, we're going to use the interwebs for physics and all that kind of stuff, right? So please bring it. Please use it. I don't mind, right? And you'll see more on Thursday. I've got a bunch of tech up here. I'm recording stuff. There's all kinds of things going on. Between classes, okay? So we're going to get out in about 5 minutes. And I am going to have to reset the room for the Physics 4C students that are going to be coming through that door. Okay? So, between class is a horrible time to come up to me and ask a question about homework, okay? Or really to ask any question, okay, that doesn't have, if the answer is going to have more than 2 words, I'm probably not going to answer it, okay? I'll probably say, I'm not going to answer that right now, please email me, or I'm not going to answer that right now, let's talk about it tomorrow in lab, or something, right? I don't want you to be offended. I'm not pushing you away. I'm just trying to tell you that I've got a limited time to reset the room. I have to go from teaching mechanics, Physics 4A, to teaching modern physics, Physics 4C, in less than 15 minutes. And get a snack, and go to the bathroom, and clean up. Like, there's a bunch of stuff I gotta do, right? So, I just need you to not sort of interfere with me during that time. You're probably gonna see me during that time, joking with somebody, talking about a video game, all of that kind of stuff, and you'll think, oh, he's got extra time, I can ask a question. I'm resetting my brain by talking about something that's not physics, right? Everything that I do in this room is very intentional. So I don't want to scare you. Please come up and ask your question if you're not sure, but I might just say, hey, that's a long answer, can you ask it on email, or ask me tomorrow in lab when we have time, or something like that, right? That in-between time is kind of critical. Today, some of you, I've told you to come up and talk to me, right, because we got some issues with wait lists and stuff. Please come up, right? I know the first day we've got lots of stuff to sort out. So we'll try and work through that. Oh, I know you've been listening to me for a long time. What is this class? Far Side is one of the best comic strips ever. XKCD is a good follow-up to it. How do you know they're scientists? White males wearing lab coats. You got a problem in science, okay? And you're helping to fix it. Thank you very much. Right? But yeah, unfortunately, white male, older, lab coats. What do they have on the board? A bunch of math, right? What does a bunch of math equal? Equals 0. And then this is kind of small. I'll read it for you. No doubt about it, Ellington. We've mathematically described the purpose of the universe. God, how I love the thrill of scientific discovery. Oh my gosh. This is going to be you. This is going to be you. You're going to be sitting there, and everything you've written down equals 1 or 0. And you're like, I filled a page and got 1. And I don't understand what it means or how it applies or anything, right? Physics ideally is fun, okay? And you're doing stuff, but a lot of the time we're just doing math. Math is the foreign language of physics, okay? Just like a French literature major could study French literature without knowing French, it really helps if you know French. Physics is the same way, okay? Math is our language. We're going to be using it a lot. We're going to be frustrated by it, okay, all that kind of stuff. This is what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be covering throughout the semester, okay? So things like gravitation, we're going to be talking about rockets, okay, and orbits and things like that. But we've got to learn the basics of how the universe works, for how things move and why they move. And really what I'm out to do is to help you learn 4 toolboxes that you're going to bring with you throughout your entire engineering, physics, and science career. Newton's laws don't go away, and they apply in all fields. Same thing with concepts of conservation of energy and momentum and all of these things. So we're going to be learning a lot of the basics. We're going to be diving deep, and then we're going to be skipping over some stuff. So it really is a wild ride. As Jacob told you, exams 2 and 3 are the hardest exams in this course. Exam 2 is Newton's law, and exam 3 is rotational motion. Okay? So it's really this, we peak in the middle, okay? And it's not that the first one's easy. This is physics. But in terms of relative difficulty, first and fourth, they're hard. Second and third are like, what have I done to my life? Okay? So, yeah. Physics is hard, but part of my job is helping you get through it. to that end, I want to introduce a thought into your brain so that you can now leave and go start reading chapter 1. Because chapter 1, we're going to cover all of chapter 1 on Wednesday. It's how do you convert units, okay? And it's hopefully it's like a review if you've ever had any kind of like chemistry class from high school or anything, right? Okay, so unit conversions, that kind of stuff. Let me leave you with a thought. Unlike other classes, math, history, English, you are coming to this class with a bucket of knowledge that's already filled. So many other classes you're coming, please fill my bucket. Right? Or some of you are going, don't fill my bucket, I don't want to be here. Right? But you've got this empty bucket. You don't know anything about psychology. Please fill my bucket. Right? In this class, you're coming because somebody told you to come. And you bring me your bucket, like, Mr. Balogh, fill my physics bucket. And I look into your bucket, and it's already full. Why is it already full? You live it every day. You've experienced acceleration and motion and velocity and speed and all these things. You've experienced Newton's laws. And I'm telling you right now, half of what you know is wrong. Half of what you know, your instinct, is based on false ideas and false assumptions. We call them misconceptions in physics. My job is to target those misconceptions, force you up against your misconception in the hope that we can take the dirty water out of your bucket. I'm going to take your bucket and I'm going to go, boom, okay? And I'm going to hand it back to you empty so now we can fill it correctly. So physics is hard again because there's this brutality to it. You're going to come here every day and I'm going to tell you how wrong you are. Okay? In an effort to try to get you to see where your instinct and where your assumptions have led you astray. Why is the sky blue?
It's the atmosphere.
Because the ocean is blue. Why is the ocean blue? Because the sky is blue. Why? What color is the ocean? It's transparent. And so on a foggy day, what color is the ocean? Gray. What color is the ocean at night? Black. Why is the sky blue? Because of Rayleigh scatter. That's a physics answer. It's correct, but it didn't help you. Right? The sky is blue because the molecules in our atmosphere scatter the blue light that's in sunlight in all directions. And lets all the other light through. That's why the sun is yellow and not white. The sun is white. But when you ask a kid to draw a picture of the sun, they reach for the yellow crayon. Well, unless it's Fresno, they reach for the brown one. Sky is blue because light rays are scattered by the atmosphere. The ocean is, that's just one of many misconceptions that are out there in the zeitgeist. That is my professional duty to correct. I'll see you on Wednesday, chapter 1. Get on Canvas, get on Wiley Plus, start your homework.
I want to say one thing real quick. Do not hesitate to come to tutoring. I'm not a major physics without tutorial sessions.
True.
Please come if you need help.
It's up on lab on Thursday at 8 a.m.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna head out like a couple minutes after the class ends because I have a bio lecture at 11 a.m.
We're going to probably finish a little bit early. Some of our labs do go all 2 hours 50 minutes, but most of them are like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
It takes me like 25 minutes to like, get there.
And I don't want you to have to drive fast.
So I just want to give you that heads up.
Give me a second, guys. 1 second.